Hi all. Alright, so today we're going to turn these simple ingredients into this delicious Italian pie. Alright, next up, Torte Verde. First off, we've got all our veggies here. We've got our pastry out. I'm going to put this pastry back in the fridge. Okay, I want it to keep defrosting, but I don't want it to defrost too quickly. My house is always warm, so it melts it gets too soft. Alright, next we're going to leave all the other bits to the side and we're just going to look at the veg. Alright, I'm going to start with the potato because I'm going to boil this slightly, so I want to get it peeled up. Okay, and then I'm going to cut up the broccoli into little florets or little pieces. Yeah, and then we're going to quickly boil that too. Alright, so I'll come back to you in a sec. Let's go. Alright, so back again, all the dirty work done. So, peeled the potatoes, got them about half a centimeter thick, not perfectly sliced, it doesn't matter. If you're not that good with a knife, you can just chop them up into chunks. I'm just going to parboil these, and what I mean by that is I'm going to put them onto boil about 60% of the way. Alright, I'm going to bring that up to the boil, and then I'm going to take those out so that they're almost cooked before we put them into the torte verde or the pie. Okay, I've also cut up the broccoli into little small pieces. Look, cut the heads down, yeah, halfway. Even the stalks, no waste. Cut them, slice those down into smaller pieces. Alright, spinach is just roughly chopped because we're going to cook that down before we put it into the pie anyway to get the water out. And then I had a little bit of zucchini left in the fridge. It's a green pie or torte verde, so we can just use that all. Alright, no wastage. Alright, so while the potatoes are boiling, I'm going to wash off the spinach. Okay, put it into the basket, give it a good rinse. Shake that out. Turn this pan on. With the spinach, we're just going to go a little oil. I don't know if you saw the pesto video I made before. I'm still using the same pan. Still got the slight taste of pine nuts in there, so I was cooking them off before. So I'm just going to let that oil get hot, and then I'm going to wilt the spinach or cook this spinach out until like 90% of the water is gone. You're going to see it's really going to change in size. It's going to get really small. Right? I'm planning to put it all in there afterwards. Just a little salt and pepper as we cook. Okay, everything we do gets salt and pepper. I will be adding salt to the potatoes, but I'm going to wait for the water to boil. That way it comes up to the boil quicker. Alright, pan's nice and hot now. Make sure you've got your utensils ready. I'm just going to use tongs. Alright, you can go straight into the pan with the spinach. Don't throw it too high, or that'll happen. Put it in straight in, don't worry about the water. Okay, put that in there. Do the same second half of things, we're going to wash that as well while that's cooking. Let that wilt, we don't need to do anything with it, just let it really get the water out. Don't move it too much, you're going to take the heat out of the pan. Open that second part of the spinach. Alright, a little salt. A little pepper. Just going to turn that. It doesn't burn on one side and the other side doesn't sit down. A little longer. Alright. Finish watching this. Alright. Ready to go in as soon as it comes out. So we just added a little salt and pepper here. I'm going to push it to the side of the pan. I can watch and see all the water. Okay, there's not much water coming out. Good. This is mainly the stalk. I'm just going to go exactly the same again with the top half. And put that back in there, let that heat up a bit again. Okay, and we're basically finished with this knife and fork, so I'm going to get this out of here as well. Okay, make sure we've got space. And go with the second option. Pepper. About done. Turn that off. Squeeze. Put a bit too much water in there. Squeeze it out. We don't want all that water in our pie. Alright. At the same time, keep me busy. Potatoes are up to the boil. Put a nice dollop of salt in there. Turn that down a bit. So it's just boiling lightly. We don't need it to boil over. Just getting this out. A little bit of spinach. Okay. Alright. That's that. Spinach is done. Just waiting on the potatoes. When the potatoes are like, as I said before, about 60-70% cooked, we're going to take them straight out, and to save us time, we're going to take them out with a spoon and leave the water in there, and we're just going to drop this broccoli in there for like 30 seconds, a minute, just to take the edge off, make it a little bit softer. Alright, onto the pastry. Okay, we are going to simple puff pastry. Over here, just call it pie sheet, but it's puff pastry. You could use any pastry you like, but I like puff. It's the easiest one to buy in the shop. I don't have the biggest kitchen, makes for a bit of a problem, but it's just Japan. It's what we live with. Make sure your rolling pin and your surface got some flour on it. I want to be over generous. As I said, my kitchen and my house is a little bit warm, so the pastry works really starts getting stuck quickly. Put that down. Turn it over. Alright, try to start in the corners and work your way all the way to the end. Turn. And the same again. Alright. Now I'm not going to do any fancy stuff with the pastry. One, it's not my favourite thing. And two, I don't see the point in wasting all the little cut-offs of pastry when there could be more crust. Who doesn't like crust? Okay, so we're just trying to make sure it's big enough for our dish. I know from previous experience with this packet, it's just going to end up a little bit small, and I'm going to end up trimming corners and stuff. trying to stretch it out, but we'll do what we can do. All right, so it's going to go into here. So I'm going to check that that's going to cover that. Good. I'm going to get some baking sheet. I'm out of baking sheet. All right. So in that situation, we're going to do this. We're going to get a tiny drop of oil onto the box. Yeah, no fancy artwork here. I'm going to jump in here, grab a knife, and a base somewhere in the middle. I'm just going to cut a few little triangles opposite the corners. This is optional. Just cutting 2 lines and then folding back. As I said, no pastry wastage. Boom. Nice one. Done. Okay. Now I am gonna just lift that up. So we're just taking the potato out and just making like a ring around the bottom. It's not going to be perfect because they're soft potatoes and they're breaking and all the rest, but just do your best. Okay, got a nice layer. Oh, it's still hot. Okay, nice layer of potato along the bottom, trying to cover almost all of it. It's good if there's some gaps because the egg is going to leak under the potato. Okay, so we're just going now with our egg and cheese and veggie mix, and drop some of that in there, about half of it, and get that spread out throughout the pie evenly as possible. Okay, boom. I'm going to close the pie. Something like that on the inside. And up with the pastry over the top. I'm just going to crimp it. What I mean by that is, so I've got the bits that are folded over, and I fold and then fold again, fold and fold again, so we get a nice closing it off. So almost like when you make a gyoza if you're in Japan, you know what I mean? Just fold it, push, fold it and push, fold it and push. Alright, we're back. Had to take a little intermission, go pick up the baby and get her settled. So this has been sitting in the fridge for about an hour, but you could have gone straight from where we left off, or you could put it in the fridge like I did. Okay, you can also see a pot in the background. And it's got a little tomato sauce that I'm going to serve with this, but I think you guys are all capable of that. Alright. Oven is preheated to 180 degrees. I'm just going to open it up, slide it onto the tray, just as it is. You could put a piece of oven paper underneath if you wanted. Put it in there. You go 1, 2, 3, 30 minutes. And go. And that is it. We'll come back at the end. Alright, so there it is out of the oven. Okay, you can see the egg is cooked here. Yeah, you can see the potato and the cheese and the zucchini all coming through. Pastry is nice and golden, not overcooked and not burnt. Okay, and that was actually, as I said, that was about 40 minutes total because I had left it in the fridge for an hour and everything has got cool inside. Okay, I'm going to leave it now for another 5 minutes to settle before I cut it. Okay, and I'm just going to run a knife around the outside to make sure it's not stuck, and then I'm just going to cut it into however many pieces I want. Feeling like maybe a quarter for dinner tonight, so there's that gone. Alright, and then I'm just serving it with a quick tomato sauce, just half an onion fried off, can of tomatoes could put in, salt, pepper, and then just some olives at the end to finish. Easy, quick food, healthy, nice, delicious. Peace.